angles. The amnesia gimmick never gets over on the soap operas. What makes you think it'll get over here? Look at Seijin Akki. He goes and plants all these ticker tape gimmicks out in the crowd, and they're throwing him in there, and he's like, hey, look, do I look like Tatsumi Fujinami at the Egg Dome?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean about booking my own angles. And last week, that whole injury thing is over, which was all your fault in the first place. And now we see Seijin Akki, who I talked to him before this match. And I said, Seijin, what are you going to do to get prepared for Mike Sullivan? And he said, oh, thank you very much.
He says that every time you ask him anything. You'd think being an interview extraordinaire for Shannon Rose's radio show, you'd figure out the guy can't speak English.
What?
Exactly.
Oh, well, I guess maybe I shouldn't keep asking him so many questions anymore, but I do have an interview coming up with the masked luchador Bob.
Oh, that ought to be a classic. You see, Seijin Akki, he's not just some high-flying, suicidal gimmick wrestler guy. He's the type that can chain wrestle. He's in there hanging with the 10-year veteran like Mike Sullivan. Granted, he's not an 18-year veteran like Jeff Peterson, or so he claims.
Is Jeff Peterson even 18 years old?
I'm not sure. I think he was actually training when he was but an embryo in his mother's uterus.
But an embryo?
You know what I mean.
Okay, I sure do, Ron Niemi. Here you see your guy, Mike Sullivan. He's using his strength to his advantage right here. He's got a side headlock down on the mat with Seijin Akki. This is very, very smart. He knows Seijin Akki is a high flyer. He's got a lot of energy. He's not going to blow up real easily, so he's doing what he can to slow down the pace of the match and wear him down. And referee Gentleman Jim Bragg goes, that's a good idea, Mike.
Gentleman Jim Bragg, for the first time in months, not constipated during this match. And the truth is, he needed all the energy. He needed to be mobile and get around. We asked him in the back, Jim, are you all right? Are you backed up at all? Can you get around? This is an important match with 6 months of bad blood. Seijin Akki gets leveled.
Oh, nice drive kick. Ironically, right to the knee of Mike Sullivan. I'm sure that was no accident on Seijin Akki's part.
No, it wasn't any accident. He can only jump that high.
Well, I don't know about all that, Rodney. Everyone knows that he's a high flyer. You'll have to excuse me because in the back I'm drooling over the very lovely ecstasy. And not only can you see her here each and every week on IPW Weekly Recap, well, not each and every week, but sometimes in my mind I like to think so. But I understand that you can also see her on the internet, Ron.
Yeah, simplyecstasy.com. You can see much more of ecstasy. And look at the roaring elbow by Seijin Akki, stolen right out of the pages of some Japanese guy whose name I can't remember right now.
You can remember it, you just can't pronounce it. But that was one heck of a discus forearm right there by Seijin Akki. And I remember when it happened at the matches, it was very loud, and the crowd just went, ooh.
They did. They actually said that. And you see Seijin Akki up and over on Mike Sullivan, ducks a clothesline. And what? You can only duck a clothesline so many times from Mike Sullivan, Aaron.
Yeah, apparently once. And there goes Mike Sullivan taking back advantage of this match. I don't think anybody as good of an athlete as Seijin Akki is really was giving him much of a chance in this match. And they may be right here as you see Mike Sullivan taking over.
Oh, it sets him up for a huge vertical suplex, directed by the hardcore giant Ron Niemi at ringside. I'm out there directing traffic. Sure, I'm eye candy, too. People like...
You're eye candy? What are you talking about, Ron Niemi? The only eye candy I saw that you might have enjoyed there is when Seijin Akki was pulling a Mike Sullivan and had the plumber pants on, showing a little bit of his crack.
Come on, Jim Bragg. Count the pin when he's down. Like I said, I'm eye candy. Sure, the girls are out there eyeing my tender young ass, and I'm out there trying to take care of business.
Speaking of tender, did I tell you about how my face is very tender and I can't shave because of what happened when you attacked me?
Yeah, you're trying to claim that you're some hemophiliac. They didn't tell you at Bayfront Medical Center that you were a hemophiliac. What they did is they said you were a hermaphrodite, Aaron Royal. You're a he-she.
All right, Ron Niemi, look, I don't understand why in the world you always want to pick on me. You act like I rib you all the time or something. And there you saw Mike Sullivan ripping up Seijin Akki's shirt, and he must not have liked that very much because he's quickly putting it back on, saying, I want no one to see my ample chest.
Please don't hit me across my bare bosom, he said. Actually, he said it in Japanese, and Jim Bragg had no idea and thought he was giving up.
I don't know about you, Ron Niemi, but I don't have my bosom in my chest area.
Here is the unbelievably lethal octopus as taught to Mike Sullivan by Ron Niemi. And if he would just get it straight once and for all and spit the ink into his eyes and blind him like Gino Hernandez blinded Chris Adams.
What is he, a squid?
No, he's not a squid. Like my good friend Mr. Squidward on SpongeBob SquarePants, one of the best television shows in TV history.
Oh, some big elbows right to the face of Seijin Akki, and he turned with another elbow right to his head.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Beautiful release German suplex there by the former champion Mike Sullivan. And Seijin Akki is reeling, and now he's down.
He's selling that huge German suplex Baron von Raschke style, except for the Claw never took a German suplex. He just walked around with that German walk thing, holding the claw up in the air when he would take Mad Dog Vachon and Nick Bockwinkel.
All right, Ron. We all know all things about old AWA wrestling, mainly that it was lame, and that's all y'all had to do up there in Michigan.
Don't you ever take the word Michigan and use it in vain. Everybody worships the promised land, and you see Mike Sullivan nail Seijin Akki, but the young kid comes firing back, hits him with an elbow of his own to his face. These guys, they're almost as stiff.
Oh, nice savate kick right to the head of Mike Sullivan. And this guy's a 3-time former heavyweight champion, and the former light heavyweight champion is taking it right to him. You made him angry, Ron Niemi, and much like the Incredible Hulk, you don't want to see Seijin Akki when he's angry.
Mr. McGee, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. But if you go to
Oh,
IPW-hardcore.com, you
sorry.
can read up on this feud between Mike Sullivan and Seijin Akki. You can go to ProWrestlingDaily.com, and you can, that's all one word, I believe.
I've heard that somewhere before. In fact, numerous times in a shrieking voice at all of our shows.
That was actually at the last gay porn theater show that you went to, where they buy up so much advertising time before shows like Behind the Brown Door, Rambone, and many other features.
Okay, Ron, I must say, I don't know all the titles in the gay porn industry as well as you do. Oh, and it looks like some sort of the Mike Sullivan's own variation of a moonsault.
That was
there.
a twisty salt.
A twisty salt. Is that like a pretzel?
Yes, like a twisty, salty pretzel.
Does that mean I could go up to Mike Sullivan and squirt him with mustard?
Absolutely not. Quite witty, Aaron.
Quite thank you. Oh, another drop kick right to the leg area of Mike Sullivan. And Seijin Akki is trying to take a wheel out from Mike. What in the world was that?
He ran up Mike Sullivan like he was a ladder and delicately delivered a knee crushing to his jaw area.
To his jaw area. That sounds like a chestal region.
You want to talk about stiff matches. He kicks him upside the head, and what's...
And here he goes. This is what I'm talking about. Ron Niemi, always with the cheap shots. Gonna give somebody a concussion one of these days with these things. Wow!
Oh, my goodness.
And referee gentleman Jim Bragg doesn't even see what's coming. Fans, this is automatic right here. 3 count. We'll be back in just a moment.